Hey, happy Saturday, guys. Winston, it's Saturday, 3:15. Just got back from preparation for sheltering in place that's going to happen here in Tampa Bay and probably most of Florida very shortly. So I decided today to go run a quick errand over to Costco. I had no idea of what to expect. I'd seen online earlier this morning these massive lines of people waiting to get in. So I didn't really know what to expect, and I said, well, I'll go there just in case, and if it's reasonable, I'll just make it happen, and if not, I will do it another time. I was so pleasantly surprised. I wanted to just share a couple things that I noticed. One, I want to tell you, they were super organized with the way that they were handling what's a challenging situation in retail right now. Especially here in Florida, we have such a high percentage of vulnerable people. So they are doing extra precautions. They may be doing this in a bunch of other stores, but what was interesting to me was just how carefully they were protecting all of us going into the store. I was there last weekend and they were carefully wiping down every cart before they handed them to you. That continued. But what was interesting today was they were queuing us up in line and only letting us in in groups of 25. And the couple things that did, it spaced out the store so it wasn't this big mob scene. Every so often they were allowing another 25 to go into the store. That was pretty impressive to me. The second thing that was pretty impressive to me was that they had a list of the things that had already been sold out. A whiteboard that was kind of a running list of things that had already been sold out, so you didn't have to go into the store thinking that it was going to be there. I saw probably a dozen employees constantly wiping down surfaces throughout the store, which was also super impressive to me. And then as you got to check out, they had you kind of queuing up, and then they were assigning you into a checkout line, and you would be the only one in that checkout line. So they would have you kind of pause as you approach the checkout area, and then they handled everything. They sanitized the credit card reader every time, so it was freshly sanitized when I got there. They had taken out a lot of the seating that had traditionally been there by the little deli cafeteria area. Just a lot of space. It was just very spacious. It was a very spacious shopping experience. I felt well protected, well cared for. And then the kicker was, as I'm going out and leaving the store, I thought, well, if I have to shelter in place here for a while, then I wanted to go ahead and top off my gas tank. And when I went around to see what the price would be, it was $169.9, which is 30 cents cheaper than anything else I've seen here in Tampa over the last day or so. The prices have gone down quite dramatically here, under $2 pretty regularly as you drive around Tampa. But to see it at $169 was pretty phenomenal. So it was so my big takeaway here is, and I think this is very true for us in business, online business, or whatever business we're in, people are watching how we are treating each other. I've heard so many great stories of businesses who are giving grace to their clients. A friend of mine uses a particular carrier for her mobile, and she said, yeah, they doubled my data plan. She was on a limited data plan, and they've moved it up to unlimited data. I mean, it's these little touches that create loyalty and create relationships that in business can go a long way. And so I have some stuff to share with you guys. I've been thinking about a number of points. Just the little. To give you an example, I was featured in a book about 6 or 7 years ago by a fellow named Stan Phelps. Stan has made a career. He is an author. He's a speaker, and part of what he talks about all the time is the concept in New Orleans called lagniappe. And I may be mispronouncing it, so apologize for my southern accent there. But the concept is just that little extra gift. So think of like the baker's dozen of donuts where you get that 13th donut. Think about when you went to DoubleTree hotels back in the day and they gave you that warm chocolate chip cookie, and they were the first. They kind of broke ground on that 20 years or so ago. It's all those little touches that make your interactions with businesses memorable. And this is a time that people have a heightened emotional place, and therefore they're going to have heightened memories of these encounters with you in business. And so it's all these little touches, it's all these little things that add up to either a very, very positive experience or a not so positive experience. And so for those of us who are in business or want to be in business, it's a really great opportunity to be creative, be really creative and be really thoughtful about how to connect with people. One of the things I'm noticing, and it's something as I communicate with my business community, I'm not quite sure what the right tone is, what the right feelings are because everyone is all across the spectrum here. This is the classic grieving process, I think, for lots and lots of people. When we've gone through a significant change like this or going to go through a significant change like that, there is all that emotion that you have, and we're all at very, very different stages. And so, and because there's a lot of unknowns, and this is a unique situation. We haven't had anything quite like this in over 100 years. You have to go back to the 1918 flu epidemic to get something as comparable. And, back then they didn't have the hypersensitive media, the instant reactions, the instant information that we have today. So I think it's compounded people's emotional sensitivity. And so, I think we just have to be where we are and have to give a lot of grace to other people who may be in a different spot than we are. But I just wanted it was a remarkable customer experience. And I think we're just going to have a whole season of remarkable experiences that, 5, 10, 15 years from now, there are going to be so many lessons from this season. And so let's just keep looking for the good. Let's keep looking for positive things we can share and those positive experiences, because this is unprecedented. I've really, one of the other things that's really cool here locally on our local news is that they have, as they go to commercial breaks, have been featuring pictures and stories of some of the medical professionals here in our community. And, that's of all the different people who are bearing responsibility right now, it's the people in our medical professions who are shouldering a lot of responsibility. And I just thought it was so heartwarming to see that last night on the news. It just made me really proud of our community and the people who are coming together, and all the little things we can do to help one another. So anyway, just wanted to share that great experience today, and trust that all of us are going to come through this changed. We're going to be changed. For me, I'm definitely looking at how I can be more intentional, how I can be more still, and how I can be more present. I will, one of the things about this situation that we're in right now is that I'm noticing a lot of things that I took for granted, and I hope that I don't forget those lessons because there's so many small moments of interactions with people and just bumping into random people that we're not getting as many of those opportunities right now, and yet how rich our lives are when we have those kind of encounters. So anyway, you guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Let's stay in touch, and if you're part of either my Begin Again community or my Future Seven Figure CEO Facebook communities, both of those are free. One of those is for personal growth, and we kind of talk about stuff like this. And the other one is around business growth. If you're not involved in either of those, please hop in because I'll be doing a fair number of touch points over this next week where we can get together and share. Oh, one other cool thing. This is something I put out there for some friends from back home. I was senior class president of my high school class back in the day, and we just had our reunion last year. And so we still have a Facebook group that has a couple hundred class members that are in there, but it's very inactive because we used it to kind of organize for the reunion. It just occurred to me this morning, hey, let's do a virtual reunion. So we're going to do a Zoom call next weekend. So if you're class of 78, Gray Bridge High School, Chesapeake, Virginia, or a friend of our class, we're going to do a Zoom call next weekend just to stay connected. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you again soon.